Hi, Pam Meyer here with Design Works Limited, and I'm here to bring you your April installment of design tips for this year. And today I want to talk about all of our messes. Everybody has some. I'm sure you have a home or a room in your home or your office where you just sort of throw everything you don't know what to do with. And all of us have that kind of thing. Sometimes I think I'm 2 steps away from being a hoarder. And none of us want that, but it's a very hard thing to do because we're all busy. We don't have enough time to take care of everything we need to do, and the task becomes monumental the more stuff we put in that room. So today I have some simple tips that I want to pass along to you that might help you in this process. Organization does take some planning and some time. And when I say by planning, it's kind of space planning. And that's tip number one. You have to figure out a different plan. If your junk or all your valuable things did not fit in the space to begin with, they still won't, even if you move them around. So what we need to do is figure out a way that you can actually house all the things that you want to keep. And a lot of times that means going out to buy a new bookshelf, or go to IKEA and buy the cubes. They have great cubes for very little money. Or if you're in a room where it needs to look a little nicer, like in a formal office or a nice room in your home, you could buy a nice piece of shelving that actually will suit the needs very well. The second step is to do some sorting, and that means do some eliminating, and that's the hard part for most people. They just can't give things up. But you go through the piles and you take everything off your bookshelves or your closet or whatever you're reorganizing out of your drawers, and actually go through it and have a big bin that's throwaway. Maybe you have another bin that's donate, and just eliminate things that aren't really necessary in your life or your work. One of the things that I've been using is a phrase that I read from somebody else, and it's, if this item is not bringing you joy, then get it out of your life. And that's a good rule of thumb, I find, with clothing, with things in my life, because clutter doesn't make me happy. And so by decluttering your space, you're going to find more joy. The third step is, when you're looking at that maybe pile, that pile that you might want to keep, the key to that is to get your new unit, whatever it happens to be, and the things that don't fit in the new unit are going to go in the definitely out pile. So that's a good gauge. That way you can blame it on the units instead of yourself for throwing away grandma's special thing that you've kept all these years but have no idea how to use. So that's a good way to gauge it. If it doesn't fit in the space, don't jam it in there, because then you're just back to where you were in the beginning. Get rid of it and you'll feel much better. To keep yourself organized after you've done all your sorting, one of the things that I suggest is using bins like these two that I'm showing you here. This is a really nice linen one with a lid and has a nameplate in the front for a client. This one's just an inexpensive plastic one that you can put together and clip on the name of the client, just like this. This keeps all the, like in my case, all the fabrics and wood samples and things that I don't know what to do with because they don't go in a paper file, together so that I can get them in a moment's touch. And then further way I organize myself is I use colored files, and I use red for those red hot clients that I'm working with currently. I use green for my financial matters, my money matters, and I use blue for clients that are no longer working with me at this moment. So it helps me organize who I'm working with and helps me to get those things at a moment's notice. And so you can use whatever thing works in your decor, whether it's baskets or pots or bins or whatever. But the key is that everything has a place. that it needs to go home to at the end of the day. And so if you have a place to put everything back, you'll tend to stay more organized and less cluttered because it all can go in its own home. So steps 5 and 6 are sort of combined. Basically 5 is get to work, do the organizing, do the planning, do the eliminating, and see what you have at the end. And if that task becomes too monumental for you, you just can't seem to attack it, then it's time to call a professional. And that's something that is, or that's someone who either can be an interior designer that could help you reorganize and redesign this particular room, or it could be just a organizational type professional, and that's all they do is help people eliminate what they don't really need. People that aren't as attached to the things that you own as you are. And sometimes that's the best way because it allows you to sort of separate yourself from those things you're saying goodbye to. So get started. So number 7, notice how much more energized you are in your new tidy space. You just feel more in control of your environment when you aren't surrounded by clutter. It's just a matter of fact. So we're going to be embarking on all of these steps ourselves in the next few weeks as we are moving our office over to the barnyard in Carmel. And so we are right now planning our space and organizing where we're going to put everything. We're going to be eliminating things just like I've told you to do. So it was kind of good for me to write this so that I can follow my own steps. So next month we will bring you around to the new office and show you our new digs. So get at it and enjoy the process.